Good morning, Hannes. Today we are choosing marble sizes for the marble machine, and it's kind of exciting. I can show you here that the marble loop on the new machine is resembling the earlier machines a lot. So up here we have the droppers. They hit the instruments here. They fall down in the funnels down here. They're transported here to the conveyor belt. And up here, they will be divided again with the marble divider. So to choose if we should use 50mm marbles or 20mm marbles, we want to choose marble sizes to be able to write design requirements. In this episode, we're focusing on the marble dropper positions up here. And I'm sketching in 3D to be able to write the design requirements, which is step 1 in the marble machine design process. All right. First, I want to derive all the instrument placement, so I'll edit this assembly in context. I'll create a new plane offset from the top plane, place a sketch on that plane, and hit U to use geometry. So I'm going to transfer the positions of the drums like this. I'm going to transfer the bass and the vibraphone plates. So if I hide the assembly, we can see that the sketch remains here. And now I can figure out all the hit points.
And hit points meaning?
Where the marbles are going to hit the instruments.
Thank you.
By figuring out these hit points, we will then know how big marbles we can fit. To find the middle of a rectangle, I put a diagonal line like this. I hit Q to make it a sketch line. I hit Shift S to make the point command, and I find the middle of that line. The point is now constrained to the middle of the line, and that point sits in the middle of the rectangle. I learned on the Marble Machine X that the best sound is actually not in the middle. So we're going to offset the hit point a bit, say 35mm. So now we're going to make a linear pattern of this point. We're going to have 37 instances, 55mm apart. And we have all the hit points for the vibraphone. Let's choose marble size for the vibraphone. For reference, the original Marble Machine used this marble, 11mm.
It's teeny tiny.
And I'm so excited for the new machine to go chunkier for several reasons. Visually, on an arena, you will see this marble much better than this marble. Kinetic energy from a big marble makes much louder volume, which makes much better sound. But there's two problems with going too big. First of all, they take up a lot of space, and space is a scarce resource on the machine, but also they're super, super heavy. The bigger the marbles are, the more energy we will need to lift all the marbles up. A real vibraphone mallet is 25mm. It feels kind of nice to use the same size as a real mallet. There are larger vibraphone mallets though. This larger one is 33mm. Okay, so the blue is 25 and the green is 30. And I think this is a great range for the vibraphone. I'm going to set a range of 25 to 30mm as the first idea for the vibraphone. So now is the question, how big marbles can we actually route to all the vibraphone drop points? I'll make a new sketch on the same plane, and I'll name that sketch, which is a super good practice sketch, Vib Marb Routing. Let's say we have a 30mm marble. Let's just look at how much space we have in between the channels. When you want two circles to be the same size, you can use the equal constraint rather than adding 30mm on this, because when you change 30mm to 25, both circles will change size. With 30mm marbles, we can see that we have kind of a 25mm distance between all the channels. I think we can fit the 30mm marbles at the drop points. Now let's see if we can fit it in the routing. The marble routing is going to use this new Holy Grail marble divider routing. So we're going to build these trees down to all the 37 vibraphone channels. However, we have 37 channels, and if we would make a tree from like only one channel to all 37, I think this point here would be too busy for that marble divider design. So I think we need to start with kind of 8 channels or something. Hannes?
Yeah!
Look at my marble tree. This is going to look so spectacular from the top of the machine.
Oh my god.
Isn't this going to be so cool? There's 37 channels, so there's one odd one out here. I should have put that in the middle for symmetry. But the good news is that all this happens in front of the drums, looks like. Which means that from the top camera angle, we'll see everything.
The waterfall.
The waterfall of marble music. Imagine this camera angle here with a marble waterfall like that over the vibraphone.
Oof.
Oof.
Oof. That's all I have to say. Oof.
And quickly thinking about all the other parts of the marble loop, I see no problems with 30 millimeters in the funnel, transport, in the conveyor, or the marble divider and the drops themselves. All right, I made my mind up. I want 30 millimeter marbles for the vibraphone as long as we can lift them. If we don't have enough energy, we have to go with 25 millimeter marbles. Let's move on to the crash cymbal. Hannes, I think I'm gonna simplify something. I've been thinking a lot. How many marble channels do I need for the crash? And I'm thinking of going with 1. It's like you have a song, do do kaka, here comes the chorus and crash. It doesn't need to be harder than that, right?
No.
It doesn't have to do boom, 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 boom on the crash cymbal. It can go crash because it's a hit, you know.
Yes.
Crash. And if we want dynamic music, we can make an arm coming out like this, and we can make a felt pad here between this one marble track that will soften the sound depending on settings. And this can be a manual change that doesn't have to go into the programming wheel, which makes it much simpler, and perhaps you and I can go on a world tour together. What about that?
If the world tour depends on 1 or more crash hits, then go for 1, please.
Yes, right. I made a lot of testing for marble sizes on the crash cymbals here.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, you heard this in your ear. You heard this.
I was sitting right off frame and working.
That makes my ears bleed. Let's try a larger marble. I did that only for the camera. Let's try with different sizes. Here's 25. It sounds pretty good, even steel against steel, actually. Okay, 30. The sound is pretty good. Let's say that the crash cymbal has a 30mm marble. The good thing to use the same marble size for vibraphone and crash is that we can use the same marble gate. The bad thing is that I wanted to use different size marbles to divide the marbles on this machine. Just quickly regarding this idea, if the conveyor belt lifts all the marbles up, then it's actually really simple up here to start sorting all the marbles on size, like a coin sorter. I actually made a quick sorting test previously on the channel. So neat. Twice or it's luck. Different size marbles makes the marble divider simpler to design. Next instrument, kick drum. I want the largest marbles for the entire machine for the kick drum. So then we have one question. What size? I think 60 is irresponsible. I think we're choosing between 40 or 50-ish. In the big marble versus kick drum sound test, I tried the marble sizes. Let's go and use that research. Let's listen to the sound difference between 40, 50 and 60 here. To my ears, they sounded pretty equal. Perhaps I can go the simpler and just go 40. And here's the cool thing. This kick drum marbles are also going to use the perfect marble divider. So there's going to be this nice looking marble tree for each and every instrument. And then the idea is that this channel here, the inflow channel to the kick drum marble divider, is going to come from the size marble sorter. Are you catching my idea, Hannes, that I want to sort out first all the kick drum marbles by sorting on size, and then they come here, and then they go down into this kick drum marble sorting tree.
Perfect.
So you have a little bit of a own thing for each drum. And then on this top angle, it's going to look beautiful with like bigger marbles there, some marble marbles here, and stuff like that.
Smarble marbles?
Marble. Let's decide the marble size for the hi-hat. And I think I want 6 marble channels for the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I want dynamics. If you look closely here, Hannes, we have 2 marbles with 25, then we have 2 marbles with 20, and we have 2 marbles with 16. That means the hi-hat will be able to play tick, 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 tick.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a hi-hat with same volume, robotic. Here's a hi-hat with different volumes, more dynamic. Let's see what the hi-hat sounds like with a 22mm marble. Now let's try 14. That's actually a nice difference. Let's try 11. Let's try 30. And perhaps we're down to 10, Hannes. Where did that go? Oh, I found it! For the hi-hat hard hits, 20mm marbles, for the medium, 14mm marbles, and for the soft, 10mm marbles. And Hannes, I just have a cool idea, actually.
Tell me about it.
What if we take the hi-hat marble sizes and we use the same sizes for the snare drum? Then we can use the same kind of marble gate dropper on several channels and we don't have to make a custom for everything.
I think that's the smartest thing I've heard today.
Let's try if it works. A snare drum needs to be dynamic. So 2 and 4 is strong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those little notes in between creates the groove. Let's see if the hi-hat size marbles can make the snare ghost notes. It's 20mm. Try 25. But now let's try the ghost notes. 10mm. All right, I'm going to put so much energy into solving this snare drum, and I want all these channels and I want most of the marbles to hit the middle. And then also to complicate, we need place for these roller tracks to make the rolling sound of the marbles somewhere on the snare. So in this video, I'm trying to make like a really good rolling sound with the marble. Let's see how I solve it. 3, 4. Okay, the marble is doing roll. Yes. It's rolling and it's shaking. All right. This is when I still dreamed, Hannes. This is when design requirements didn't kill my heart.
Yeah, look what that gave us.
Nothing. Nothing. Okay, so let's look at this idea. That idea. It's so cool. Then I made this design with a drumstick. I mean, this works really good, actually. This makes the perfect sound. You know, we can put a dropper wherever, and then we can have a drumstick sticking in like from the side. So it's really freeing up the space of the drumstick, actually.
Great. If it gives you the function that you need and it's easier.
If we have one marble track for the roll, and I can switch if it hits a short track or a long of this cardboard track, I can have a long and a short roll as well. Kind of simple. I can have that as a manual change, so that's not a programming change. It sounds great. That's a perfect.
I mean, it sounds like a drum.
It's really consistent now. So for the snare, we'll use 30, 20, 14, and 10mm marble for dynamic normal hits. And then we're gonna use for the rolls, something kind of like 25mm marbles. Okay, I'm running out of time this day, but look, I made a like very sketchy marble routing. This is going to work, I feel. So here's the instruments, and imagine like looking at marbles here on this waterfall on top of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
For the ride, I have only one crash marble, and then I have 3 drumstick marbles, because that ride sound needs a drumstick, which we demonstrated in a previous video. And then for the bass, I have 12 channels of marbles, which will hit the bass levers that we showed previously. So in the ride, we have 30mm marbles for the crash sound and 20mm for the stick sound. For the bass, we're gonna use 22mm marbles. This is just sketching, and the way I'm building the CAD in Onshape now is completely terrible. And good news, next episode is I'm getting help with CAD structure from a fantastic Onshape expert. So from next episode, we're gonna build CAD a little bit more deliberately. I'm just sketching, having fun, but it's time for me to actually build up the CAD in a more proper way. So everyone who's been pulling their hair about my CAD structure, you can tape your hair back again on Friday.
Finally!
These are the marbles we're gonna use for the marble machine, Hannes, and I'm super happy to go into design requirements and put some measurements down.
Are all these channels really must-haves on the new machine?
That's a great question. No, a lot of these are nice to haves currently.
If it gets too complicated, you can delete some channels.
We did get closer to the world tour today. I think this episode is kind of there in the middle. I'm so happy to hear that we have 20 new backers, Hannes. I'm really touched by that. Thank you, everyone.
21 new backers, and the total keeps on growing. And it means the world to us that people out there still believes in this project and believes in Martin's dedication to this whole journey. And yeah, nothing more than to just say our most heartfelt thank you for following us on this marvelous journey that I saw in the comments. So thank you so much.
Wilson also says thanks. Next episode, I'm gonna learn how to CAD. See you then. Ciao.